let's switch over to a little bit of a exotic refreshment and non-molecule company. We're medtech, and in this case, we're medtech in the form of prevention of chronic migraine. Of course, a chronic migraine or a migraine patient can be perfectly happy with its current standard of care and medication. But several studies suggest that above 50% of them are really not. There is a constant search for something else. And sometimes also a search for a non-pharma solution. And reason being that pain medication in general, as you may know, loses effect over time sometimes, and you have to switch to something else. Side effect profiles on these drugs are from time to time quite unbearable, and that is another reason. If you're pregnant or would like to become pregnant, many of these migraine drugs are not really for you. So there is a huge population of patients that are looking for something else together with their physician or doctor. And then what to do? That is the question. What we do at Chordate is exactly that. We offer an alternative, a non-drug alternative for all these chronic patients of migraine. And that's a lot. So I'm here and proud to be able to have this opportunity, thanks to BioStock, to present to you Ocelia, our beautiful product. My name is Weilandt, and I've been the CEO of this company since the summer of 2017. So maybe a little brush up of what is migraine. A lot of people, this is about the number of chronic migraineurs. And what is chronic migraine? Well, it's defined as having 15 days of headache per month, whereof 8 episodes of migraine. Quite severe. A little bit of show of hands, how many have had migraine or have migraine? Yes, that's a good representation. So you know what we're talking about. All the rest of us, you probably know someone that has, right? And the reason is that there are quite a few, actually. 15% about in the world. 1 out of 7 have migraine or have had migraine somewhere in their life. 2% again are chronic migraineurs. The rest we usually call episodic migraineurs. And this is actually definitely a women's health issue because 2/3 of all patients are women. It's also very costly to society. There is a relatively recent health economic study from Norway and Sweden suggesting about 11,000 euros per year an average chronic patient. 80% being productivity loss and 20% is healthcare and medicines. So a huge issue. So what do we do? And what is Ocelia? Well, besides being a non-pharma solution, it's also safe and effective. It is well tolerated, and it's easy to perform. A typical Ocelia patient needs to come into a clinic 4 times a year, in average, for a treatment that takes about 30 minutes in and out the door. And it's also a nurse procedure. So it's a low-cost procedure for the clinic. It is preventive, as our latest RCT have shown. Also showing a very nice and almost non-existing side effect profile. And also the effectiveness that then generates this low cost for the clinic. So how does it work? What does it do? Very simple technology. You dress the patient appropriately. Once that is done, you insert a thin balloon catheter in one of the nostrils carefully. And you fix that with a headband and a clamp to prevent anyone to have to hold the catheter tube for 10 plus 10 minutes. You do the treatment 10 minutes in each nostril. And once that is done, the magic starts, because you press start, and from now on the procedure is automatic, and the staff can do something else meanwhile. So the machine runs for 10 minutes, then prompts the user to switch over to the other nostril, and it runs for another 10, and that's it. This is, of course, the first time, first minute, a little bit of awkwardness. It can be feeling funny and sometimes actually hurt a little bit. But that passes really fast. The second time the patient comes in for treatment, they quite often fall asleep, because it's a nice vibration that this balloon generates that is soothing. So they close their eyes and doze off quite often. Usually we have a starting procedure recommended that you do 1 treatment per week in 6 weeks as a loading dose. And then it's very individual, but the patient usually wants to come back every 2nd or 3rd month, approximately. And sometimes patients go for half a year before they need to come back again. So compare that to having to take daily drugs or daily injections or monthly injections with some of the other alternatives. So can we prove this? Yes, we can. Even at the side of medtech, we have to do proper clinical studies nowadays, as you might know. In order to register products, we have to show efficacy, we have to show safety, and we have to show that the claims we make are true. And we have a pipeline cleared for that. Our pivotal study, the PM007, gave us the CE mark, and is now the basis for our marketing and sales. Fantastic results. We're going to dive into them a little bit. Right now we have 2 active studies. One is 009 and 010. The first one there is a short pilot where we are looking at CGRP non-responders. CGRP is the most expensive version of migraine treatment. And at the end of that, there is a lot of patients that doesn't respond. And at that situation, they don't really have any more options. So that's what we study, see if we have some effect. The 010 is a post-market surveillance study, 200 patients, we follow them for 1 year. The 007, the maximum effect shown in the active arm was 4.3 days reduced of headache and 4.9 days with migraine reduced. And the study report says 2.7 respectively and 2.9 for migraine days when you look at the therapeutic gain. So that's a huge success for us, have helped us enormously and still does. Huge market, as you saw already. We have the fortune here to have an extremely good benchmark, and that is Botox treatment for migraine. Also done 4 times a year, 30-minute procedure basically in and out the door, a clear side effect profile, and very nice price for us to compare with. But we have a much better side effect profile as we don't have any, more or less. And we are priced a little less than Botox. And as you can see, the projected market is with a fantastic growth. And the Botox segment here is really pronounced. So why would you invest in this company and own shares, as we're listed on Nasdaq First North? Well, we have a clear strategy for how to provide a return on investment, and that's by exit. This is an exit case, and we have communicated that for over 5 years now. We're at the final stage here. We're building proof of concept in market, and we do that by addressing a few selected markets where we try to focus all our small resources. You see them on the left. USA is notably not a target for us. But we do run a FDA clearance project there. China is handled by our JV partner, so we're not really involved in that. And what I want by coming here, looking at the time, we have 3 bubbles. We're looking to engage a broader industry network. We're looking to attract institutional investors because we are at that time right now where I think that could be good for us. And we would like to connect with strategic partners to help us with the last step of our strategy. And that's it. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, Anders. So I'm looking at some of the questions I'm getting here. Do you have to be experiencing an active migraine episode when getting Osilia treatment, or is it done prophylactically?
This should preferably not be done when you have a migraine episode. So this should be scheduled as a preventive treatment. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a good combination to have an active attack.
Right. No, you wouldn't want something.
No, no. That will just worsen the situation, I think.
Yeah. What is the strongest part of your exit strategy right now?
The strongest part. Mm-hmm. Fantastic question. I have no idea. The whole the part of the strategy is that we have built it in clear steps. Good foundation technology-wise, good R&D, good regulatory, good clinical proof, and now we're trying to build the market proof. MedTech, in our experience, needs that. We need to show it's sellable, and we need to show that we can gain a growing number of patients that wants the treatment. That is what the buyer would look for, in our view.
How about some of the challenges, especially with the regulatory framework? What are some of the biggest challenges there?
Not much. I mean, this is a very simple technology. In terms of patient risk, there is really not much to talk about. This is still a MDD product, and that will run us to 28. So for now, we're cool regulatory-wise. We do have an ongoing issue with the Chinese FDA, which hopefully we can overcome here. They are really interesting to learn how they work.
Will you be talking to Ben later?
I might.
One last question. You mentioned the challenges with the Chinese FDA. Are you aware of any other regional challenges in target markets?
Come again?
What are some other regional challenges that...
regional challenges? Yeah. Migraine as such, we do have another indication of chronic rhinitis with the same technology, by the way. That was the start of the company. But migraine is well evenly spread around the globe. It projects the same set of issues for healthcare and society. So the regional challenges for us are generic. The reimbursement, for instance, acceptance processes, adaptability into healthcare systems. Those varies tremendously, and there are any height of barriers, sometimes unbearable barriers, and we have to walk somewhere else. That's why we select these markets, because we have assumed that we have an easier way in some of them, and some we just skip, like Sweden.
Well, I'm sure people will have questions about that as well, but unfortunately we have run out of time.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Anders, for your presentation.
Thank you.